Kevin's still pissed about the drone, so he sent me down to Tactical Distributors. I'm like the intern janitor or something. So I'm in the warehouse. It's pretty cool though. They got like hundreds of brands of stuff. They got like Altama, Sitka gear, got everything. Like check some of this stuff out. I was looking through earlier. They got like Faro Concepts, little mag holders, you know. This one was cool. They got Solomon. So like Solomons are normally pretty expensive, but tacticaldistributors.com, Unpossible 15 gets you 15% off. It's not expensive anymore. This one they got MTHD. It's like their in-house thing. It's super cool. It's kind of like Patagonia. It's just like it's a new thing.
Jay,
it's really cool.
Come on, man. I told you. You want me to call Kevin?
No. Check it out.
Well, I would ask them where we are and who they are, but fanboy, you could probably tell us.
I don't know. I don't know too much, but yeah, we're in Virginia Beach. We're at GBRS Group. Don't really need an introduction. Everyone kind of knows who you are, but
What does that stand for? Global what?
Global Battlefield Research Solutions.
Correct.
That is
Fuck
correct.
me, dude. I'm good.
I told you, fanboy, he's playing it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool, DJ. Who are you guys? What do you do?
Let me go first. Fine. DJ Shipley, CTO at GBRS Group, retired SEAL. Did 17 years and I got medically retired. So from 2002 to 2019, could serve on an East Coast based SEAL team. And now we start a training company amongst every other thing we do that just happens to shoot really cool content and speak super clear. Like honest facts, man. Like it doesn't have to be fancy to be efficient. You have to train every fucking day, and you got to be in the gym. Like you can't fake it.
The gym thing.
Yeah, fuck,
All right,
man,
so
you got to do it, bro.
I know. I got to get on it. I want
Hey,
them
you got to do it
after
for
me
your
some-
kids, if nothing else.
Well, man, those brats, whatever. I got to do it for me because I'm getting old and I want to hunt and do shit that requires me to be physically fit.
You got to have a why.
I got it now.
So that's what we do. Is we help people find their why and then polish it.
So the training, what all does this involve? What kind of training we doing here?
Everything but open water scuba. We actually somebody emailed that and I just said no. Nope. I'm not putting on a dive rig. I'm not doing drag. I'm not, no.
So everything else you guys were trained to do and learned in your service.
Yeah, I mean, our bread and butter is CQB, shooting.
Yeah.
Really big into the jump stuff, me and Cole. So
The jump stuff,
yeah.
like out of planes.
Yeah.
Perfectly good ones.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We got a little insight earlier before off air, and
Big balls.
pretty sweet.
What'd you hear that was great?
DJ enjoys when the chute doesn't open, it seems.
What?
Well, he gets
Yeah.
excited about it. I don't know if
It's
he
sick.
necessarily likes
Dude,
it, but
I'll tell you what, man. Talk about the pucker factor.
Yeah.
Instantaneous.
Feeling
Yeah.
alive, quick there. Huh?
Yeah, dude. You have a super sporty opening. And it looks up and it's just a bag of shit.
yeah.
Oh boy.
You just saying it is causing me massive anxiety. I'm gonna have to have a drink.
There's a video
Me
that
too.
there's a
Wait,
video that,
shout out to Jody.
Oh,
He
yeah.
brought us this last night.
Birthday
so
boy,
he's,
Jody.
He's gonna get me through the anxiety that I'm
Yeah.
gonna suffer through in this.
Yeah, well, there's a video that Forward Observations Group posted, and it's DJ, and I'll share it. And it's kind of hard to tell because it's slowed down a little bit, I think. And just the camera, it's kind of hard to see how hard you're spinning. But
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about outside. Like that chute is so small. Like for the guys that jump, it's a Valkyrie 96, and it's spun up behind me, so I'm on a really heavy wing load for me. And I'm at 2.6. I mean, I'm not a packet of peanuts coming out of the airplane.
Right,
like
yeah.
I'm 260 pounds coming out of that bird. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, when that thing spins up, all the blood rushes to your feet. So if you hang on for too long, you'll just black out. That parachute doesn't know it's in a dive. Your reserve will deploy if you're hitting a certain speed, but if not, you'll just ride that fucking thing in and you'll die.
Yeah.
So in that video, it shows me spinning on my back. It's because the parachute has spun up so tight, it's knocking my head forward. So I can't do anything.
right.
The centrifugal force is so fast that I'm starting to black out. So when I chop, I spin laterally on my back. I jettison across the sky. For the guys that know how to fly, I'm dropping a knee, trying to roll over to get belly to earth so I can deploy my reserve. I don't jump with an RSL or a static line.
So what happened? You're saying so you pulled something and it released that chute that's fucked.
I chopped it away, and I don't have an
Chopped it away like Rambo with a knife.
No, like you have a cutaway cable. Pull that thing, it jettisons your main. But I have to
Hope
roll
your parents
over.
aren't listening to this right now.
I'll show you the video.
So I have to roll over, get belly to earth to deploy my reserve.
Yeah.
And it takes so long because I don't have
The downward force.
downward force yet. I'm just jettisoning across the sky. I have to wait for that to settle to do it. I mean, I could rush, I could panic at the disco, but that was the point of showing the video. Like, I am at this point, because it's my reserve, it's my last line. I am going to sacrifice a little bit of altitude to make sure I get that thing in a clean air. Because if I deploy it when I'm on my back and that thing comes out anything but perfect, I am going to fucking die.
Proper fucked.
Well, is that
That is it.
that video specifically? Is that a talking point towards why people may not want an RSL?
Well, it is. It's kind of it was kind of our main reason. Like our coaches in the industry, the guys that don't jump RSLs, they have a very good reason why.
Right.
If I want to shit can that thing, it's because it spun up more than likely, and it's throwing me into a super deep dive that I'm not going to recover from. And if I deploy my reserve in close proximity, those line twists are going to transfer.
Right.
If I'm already low to the ground, like say we're doing a big way and I pitch at 2,500 feet, I snivel, I open up at 1,200, and I've got to down.
Yeah.
I don't have time now.
You're right.
And we're talking about
people,
seconds.
people push you in the basement, and I have to deploy low, and now it's spun up. If I don't shit can it right now,
Yeah.
I'll burn in.
You're gonna burn in. Yeah.
But then we talked about it. These canopies are $4,000.
right. Yeah.
Like dudes just aren't going to jettison that thing over the middle of the interstate to never see it again. That's a car.
That's the thing I never even thought about is that obviously you guys
cost.
pay for all your gear, so it's like when you cut away, it's
Every
going.
time you chop, you've got about $4,500 on the line every time you chop.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't recover it?
Well, you can, but if you don't,
if you do,
but a lot of times you lose them, right? Guys put GPS trackers in these fucking things.
Yeah.
well, it makes
As you
sense.
should.
It's expensive. Yeah.
So, I
Dude,
mean, I
my
think,
fucking first car wasn't $5,000.
Yeah.
I think
like-
DJ's leaving out is that you only have a few seconds to make that decision, price included. But if you don't,
While you're
This-
panicking.
the centrifugal force will burst all your blood vessels in your eyes, and you'll pass out.
Yeah. This sounds so amazing. I can't wait for us to go do this.
Is that why? Like, well, you kind of talked about it off air, but is that kind of one of the main reasons that guys will get fucked up? Is that they don't cut away soon enough?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it won't get better
Yeah.
the closer you get to the ground. Like people rarely die in free fall.
Right.
It's on landing.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, if it's under reserve, that's why you're so low. You're already blacked out. You've got two canopies out. They surge low to the ground. You pound in.
Right. Imagine hitting the ground at 150 miles an hour or
Nope.
whatever.
I mean,
Nope.
like you see the guys do the swoop competitions,
Yeah.
how fast they're coming in.
Yeah.
Like a 3-degree angle change.
Right.
And you hit the ground, it's over,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. Turn to
Everything from
jello.
your hips down are jello.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, those are all the guys we train with, like best dudes on earth.
Right.
And, I mean, you talk about accuracy, like, dude, those guys can thread that needle wherever they need to.
Oh,
Well, it sounds
It's so
like
impressive. Jeffro Provenzano from Red Bull Air Force, I've never seen anybody do that shit.
All right.
He brought that thing in the middle of an apple orchard backwards. He does a blind man through a fucking apple orchard, like 6 inch of clearance on either side of his canopy.
Well, I guess you have to do that to save your life. Amazing how accurate you can be.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't know. This seems crazy.
This dude just does it for fun.
All I could think about when you're telling that story is the Red Bull fucking astronaut diver dude that got into the spin and everything, and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna die on national or worldwide television," and fine.
No, he wasn't any danger of dying. I mean, he's got an AED. The thing would have deployed, but what I was worried about was he was going to panic and deploy too early.
Oh, and get all fucking wrapped
Well,
up.
no, then he basically loses all his records. He's trying to get the max free fall time. So,
right.
like if you deploy super high, one, that main's not guaranteed to work.
Yeah.
The entire system's based on you having a good exit and deploying at a certain altitude. So altitudes matter.
Everything fucking matters.
That was like the coolest.
all these things
video.
matter here.
Everything. Everything fucking matters.
Can you imagine the logistics behind that, though? They're clearing airspace. Size of their
They're
country.
clearing
Just
space.
for this dude
space.
to potentially blow it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of our dudes, he was the guy that essentially ran most of the program.
Yeah.
Luke Akins.
Oh yeah.
Like that dude, if you ever want to do anything with
Nope.
like he's the same guy that jumped out with no parachute, landed in the net. That's him.
Oh, didn't Travis Pastrana do that
No,
too?
well, he got someone grabbed onto him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
you
this
mean
dude-
no parachute
yeah,
landing
this
in the
dude burned
net?
into a net. Yeah.
I saw that.
Dude,
Yeah.
we watched that POV on his phone.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's fucking go, buddy. Oh, it is so awesome. Like, how excited he is that he made that jump.
Yeah.
We talked about the whole training progression because that's what I was
Right.
fascinated with. The logistics behind that fucking stunt.
I always think it, even like Evil Knievel, it's like you can do all the thinking
Where do you
about it
get
you want,
30
but at some
buses?
point you got to peg the throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So
cool.
how long? What was the build up to that? What was the time frame?
I mean, like, the logistics behind it, getting the approvals to do it. Different forums, different factions didn't want him to do it because it was claimed as skydiving, but he's not using a parachute. So what body governed, like, blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
all that shit,
Yeah.
all the red tape he had to go through. Then they were going to make him jump with a chute. I can't because I haven't tested that. If I do, it'll break my fucking spine. Like, like all the different obstacles.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
like people last minute,
The
playing
fine
fuck-
details that
I mean,
people don't
what are you
think
gonna
of.
do?
Plain
Do it without
fuckery.
the chute,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you arrest me when I land.
Yeah.
on it.
But like, so what was funny is he talked the entire progression. Even in the wind tunnel, he rolled to the right, rolled to the right, rolled to the right, rolled to the right. The day of, the only one that fucking mattered, he rolled to the left.
Go left. Yeah.
And he was left, like, already. If you look at that video, like, he's off-centered. He's
Right.
off-centered left, and he still rolled to the left. I'm like, I mean, dude, I was in my living room watching it.
Do you
Like,
think
I
it
was
was a-
texting all the group, like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah. Do you think it was a cognitive choice for him to go, I'm
Yeah.
going left?
When I asked him, he didn't have a reason. He's like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
He's like, it was time to roll, and I rolled. Like,
All right. Yeah.
Man was
Fucking awesome, man.
relaxed.
Yeah.
Had a couple shots. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
dude, he is, like, as far as jump planning goes, that dude's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything he touches. is
Cole,
fucking
you
awesome.
you like this jumping out of planes stuff? You guys do it for fun now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think we've started. I mean, we started doing it on our own after we went through free fall school. Spent a lot of time and
So
private money on our just doing it for fun and getting better
So even when you guys were on teams, you were doing it outside of that
Yep.
for fun.
on weekends.
Oh,
It seems like the best thing in the world because,
seeming all invincible.
well, I mean, I was just in Texas with the Fog guys and I had to hear all about one of them getting his A license, and now all the other dudes are like, he's wrangling everyone into it. So seems like everyone's doing it. And I get it. I'm down. I want to do it.
I'll
Tommy and
fly
I.
the plane. I mean, it's in my blood.
That's right. You don't want me flying it. Tommy and I said we're going to do it. I just don't want to jump tandem, so I want to find out how I can do it without jumping tandem first.
I want a video of you jumping tandem.
Start in the tunnel.
In the tunnel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those everywhere now.
It's not even like a pride thing. I know it's possible to do it that way, so I want to do it that way.
When did they start doing tandem? That's like a relatively new thing, isn't it?
I should know this because I'm a tandem master.
20 or 30 years. It's not
yeah.
like super old, is it?
No, I mean it's for the military. It's pretty old, like early '80s, late '70s.
I mean, the evolution of canopy and skydiving, was like a hockey stick, just kind of like the guns and defense industry. It's kind of ramped up, and
Yeah.
all the new technology and how the sails work and wings.
I mean, like I
It's
don't even know how they
amazing.
did it before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like the engineering team that goes behind that.
Right.
And the person, like when you open up some of these canopies, it's the equivalent of getting in a fucking Ferrari. Like that thing opens up
Really?
over your head, and when you unstow those toggles, dude, you feel it
yeah.
build
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it builds and it builds, and you're like, holy shit.
Well, that's something that I think the average person doesn't even consider is that there's different square footage on canopies and stuff like that.
dude, like people don't understand a military parachute, the one you jump at work at, the 10th SF.
Mhm.
They jump a 360 square foot canopy. Like that's what
Right.
it is. Your typical sport canopies are 230 square feet all the way down to 74s.
Right.
So like when you get into the cross brace kind of phenomenon, the super high performance, they're all 100 square foot and below. It's a twin bed sheet, man. Like that's
Yeah.
a small canopy.
And you said that one that from that video is 96. Is that what you said?
yeah, that
was?
one's 96. But going out the door, like 240, 250.
I was gonna say you're
like
not a small boy.
No, like depending on what we have on there, yeah, man. Like
Well-
I'm 220 naked. Like that rig weighs 25 pounds. The helmet weighs this. The
Right.
GoPro, everything else. Like weight adds up quick. But these guys that swoop, they put 25 pounds of weight on.
Right.
What's the speed when you're coming in, when you're close to the ground? How fast you going?
On the small wings?
Well, it depends on how fast you get the centrifugal. You have to build the centrifugal force, so you start putting it into a turn to build up speed, and at the last minute as it arcs, we input some rear risers and some body correction to plane it out on itself.
So why are you building up speed so you can get like
wanna
the
go as far
landing?
as you can.
You want to go this?
We're trying to build up speed
Yeah.
So we go horizontal instead of vertical.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Kind of a
Kind of.
good comparison too is like, you imagine going from a Honda Civic to an Audi, S8, whatever, and now you go to an F1 race car. Different kind of performance, controls, but you're kind of exposing yourself to how much more danger and performance.
Yeah, and
When you jump in an F1 car, like, can you drive it like those other racers?
Right.
Probably kill
You're
yourself.
crashing at 200, not 65.
you're somebody
Not
talk
you.
about crashing. All right, first of all. But so you're hauling ass coming in, and then you slow down to, I guess, where you can, like, walk it off, huh?
No, you plane it out and touchdown feet nice and easy and drag yourself to a nice stop. Get a full slide.
Put on the brakes.
That's got to be a good feeling
It is
when
if
it
you
works
do it
like
right.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
As long as you do it right.
when
Yeah.
you don't.
But-
ugh.
But I
Otherwise-
mean, if you add in an extra inch of rear risers too much, you'll
Yeah.
collapse the entire canopy and you'll eat shit. If you do that at 15 feet at 60 miles an hour, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom end. So we talk about cutaways and
Yeah.
people buying time because they don't want to shit can that $5,000 wing. Like, it's so much easier. Like, for the military guys, it should never be an option.
Right.
Like, if it's wrong, shit can it right now.
Yeah.
Talk about, like, if you cut away instantly, you can get back in the stack and, like, you can
Right.
have a normal skydive. It could be completely safe. If you wait to the bottom end, it will not get better.
Yeah.
That thing is not moving. That will be there when you meet it.
Yeah.
If you meet it at a mile an hour or 100 miles an hour, it'll be there.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think one of those attractive things on skydiving is, we spent an entire career in the military, and it was always putting your life on the line based off the decisions you made. And we get the same feeling skydiving.
Mm.
So, like, we're pushing the limit. We know the risks. If we're not performing, we're probably not going to walk out of this.
Good way to stay sharp, I guess, if you want to be around.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys met in the Navy.
yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
We lived probably 30 minutes away from each other our entire childhood, but didn't meet until in the military.
For real?
Mhm.
Where, are you guys from this area?
Yeah, I grew up in Norfolk.
I grew up 20 minutes on the road.
Okay, so but you meet in the Navy, and you guys are close in age.
Yep. Yeah, I rolled into his class. He finished Hell Week, and I had gotten rolled for a pool comp. It's part of the diving
Yeah.
portion. I got rolled back, and when you meet him, like, you watch the other class come up behind you, so, like, you could spot all the fuck faces, like all the young punks. So I instantly knew where I was going to go introduce myself. And so had one of the older guys buy me some beer, grabbed 2 cases of beer, and I walked up there and literally introduced myself, like, hey, I'm DJ, I'm rolling into your class.
Let's not skip the fact that he was 17 and couldn't buy cigarettes.
No, dude. Dude, couldn't buy Copenhagen going through buds.
Yeah.
Can you fucking believe that?
I didn't go through buds, but I can't
Yeah.
believe it either.
Well, I mean, like I'm in the fucking
can't
Navy.
No,
believe
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Goes
Yeah,
with
you're in
buds.
buds, and you can't buy a
Yeah,
dip,
bro. Like, I'm in buds. I'm doing
Right.
fucking log PT with these grown ass men. I
Yeah.
got no fucking.
Welcome
pubic
to
hair.
America.
you can't
can
rent
do
a
all
fucking
this.
car. Yeah.
Bro, I had one disposable fucking razor. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like when they would beat
Did
me.
you need to shave at that
No,
point?
dude. Like, I didn't have shit.
armpit hair.
Bro, I didn't. Like, I was a fucking late bloomer, bro. I was 135 fucking pounds.
Oh,
I was a tiny little man.
Yeah.
And they fucking worked my ass. Over. Oh, it sucked. But yeah, but I introduced myself to this dude and his little group of cronies, and yeah, we all latched on. It's like the hateful eight, man. Yeah, everybody was 19 or younger. And we
Yeah.
just-
were you guys always on the same team?
yeah.
Oh,
We left Buds, went to Team 10,
okay.
went to the same team.
No, this fucking asshole. So, so me and
You
him.
talking about Jay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So me and Cole were super tight in buds.
Back when Jay was 6.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What year? 2003?
Yeah.
I was 8.
Yeah.
So close.
So me and Cole are going through training, doing that whole fucking thing, and it comes time to pick orders. Like, what coast do you want to go to?
Yeah.
I'm going home. Like, I'm like, hey, you coming? And he wanted to stay out there and go surfing. And I was like, you have got to be shitting me. So he had orders to Team 1 on
There's
the
a
West Coast.
lot of pretty girls in San Diego.
Yeah, for sure. But you ain't got time for that. Like, it's a GWAT. Like, we got to go,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like, if you move to the East Coast, it's a really short flight.
Were they split up? Was this before everyone was just going everywhere? Was it regionally? Was each
No.
team regional?
No, not really.
Because it's GWAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, by that time, that kind of regional thing kind of went out
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah, it was like everybody's Iraq, Afghanistan, just flip-flopping.
Right.
So I had orders, and they came in. We were sitting in Alaska. They gave everybody the orders, and they said, hey, all the guys going to the East Coast are going to Team 10, and you're gonna deploy super fucking early, so you can't take leave. You got to go straight there, so you're going straight to fucking Iraq. This dude's eyes got all big, and he went, who wants to swap? And one of the dudes like, I'll fucking swap you. And then everybody started doing a lottery. Who wanted to go?
Yeah.
Oh, you
really
could do
got to
that.
see.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, I
I've
don't know what
never
you
heard of
guys
that
do.
before, but they let them all do it.
So out of our class, I
Well,
think maybe
wartime, I
4
guess.
guys got West Coast orders. And I'm just really good at networking, so I already had the detailer give me West Coast orders. So it's kind of like a thing. Like, this guy wanted to stay. I was like, I want to. This is what I signed up for. I want to go. Easy swap and going back home. I grew up here. I was like, my parents were kind of excited coming home.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I guess
so fucking
everyone. It's interesting. It's a regional thing here. Everyone from Virginia, West Virginia, they all want to grow up to be Navy SEALs. Like the Navy did a good job with that. I mean,
I don't think it was as popular back then. Back then,
Dude, growing up my school, like 20 minutes on the road, people would make fun of me. Like nobody knew what a Navy SEAL was in 2000.
Oh, they don't play
What?
they don't play
No.
the documentary Navy SEAls at your school?
No,
Because-
no,
Charlie Sheen?
Well, they might now. Back then, like people thought my dad was a fucking circus performer. Like when you hear your dad's a Navy SEAL, they're
Right.
like, they make a stupid fucking SEAL
Yeah.
sound. Like,
Yeah.
no, dude, like my fucking dad's a commando. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah, and then they don't believe you.
interesting. I mean, a friend of mine who had a very successful career in the Army. It's from West Virginia. His whole life, and he's 10 years older than you guys. Wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and he couldn't pass the hearing test. So he figured out like how to cheat, and then went and joined the Army, like to game the system, and so ended up. That's the only reason that he ended up in a SOCOM asset for the Army was because he couldn't. The Navy wouldn't take him.
Dude, hey,
Not
so fun
moving to
fact
Oklahoma.
about that shit is how many guys you figure out have some kind of weird,
Oh, yeah.
weird thing they've had to cheat to get into the military.
Yeah, another guy who actually was with us when we started Q from Gil's cousins. Same thing, colorblind, had to cheat to get in.
you remember when Nick broke his back?
That's a good thing, man. Like guys that want to do something that are motivated, like let them find a way around shit like that.
If you're not
Like,
cheating, you're not trying.
I mean, this guy broke his back in SQT. Basically, there's buds, SQT, and you go to a team. Broke his back in SQT. Didn't miss a day.
So
Didn't miss a minute.
God, it seems
Self-rehabbed
like so
it.
crazy. But number one, you get guys that are so driven and are probably typically physical studs who would be successful at most physical things. And then you're hurting all the time anyway. Like any kind of like intense physical training. I don't know, never been to buds, but any intense physical, like guys that are training for marathons, Ironman, like you're always fucking injured. So I could see where you could have like fractures and stuff and not even really know it because your legs are hurting for a year straight because you're
So-
running 10 miles a day or whatever.
Like me and him were going through selection, and I broke my hip on a jump, like broke my femoral fucking neck off. I came back like atrophied. I couldn't fucking move it. Went and got X-rays, benign. Finished jumping another 50 fucking jumps on that thing, up and down Dugway, doing a bunch of stuff, climbing, a bunch of fitness shit. We were actually doing a physical test, and they came back in. They're like, "Hey, you got to go get an MRI." It's been weeks at this point, like 4 weeks. We go back and get an MRI, and my fucking hip is 70% still fractured, and they're like, emergency surgery tomorrow. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like we did the NFL Combine that week.
You're
Like,
what?
like we were doing the broad jump, like one
Yeah,
to vertical. I'm like, on one leg.
That's
sure
at
you
24.
guys love wrestling.
Yeah.
24 years old.
Oh, dude, like blew my hip out. It was
Yeah.
fucking toast. Downwind landing, super hard impact, boom, and I
Yeah.
knew it. Like I knew something was.
Right, yeah.
I couldn't walk. Like doing buddy carries that day.
Ugh.
Like I came back, it got to the point I couldn't even pick my leg up to hit the gas.
Right.
I'd have to move it from gas to brake, like under assistance. It was fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
With everyone's love for wrestling like mine, remember Kurt Angle
I do, the Olympian.
won a gold medal with a broken neck?
Yes, he did.
I mean, he's paying the price now, but
Mine's
he was a stud, man.
I mean,
he
looking at
decided
J.J.
he was
Watt,
going to win.
Well,
Gronk, those guys.
the quitting thing too, like I didn't go to Buds either. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't go to Buds.
No.
I wasn't even.
Did you
in
go
the
to
Navy.
flight school?
No, fuck no.
Yeah.
Um,
No shit.
But part of like certain things like for you guys, there's the I'm gonna not quit because I just don't want to quit, but also there's the unknown. Like if you quit, like what are you going on a ship? Like there's not an option
I
to
don't
quit.
know,
like,
man. I mean, I think if you've always wanted to do something from childhood,
Right,
and then you're with whatever, 30, 50, 100 other dudes. It's like, who's going to give up? Like, you give up probably way
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Well, but definitely if you're
Everyone.
by yourself. No?
Dude, it's not like
People like to ask, what was the hardest thing? Like Hell Week? Hell Week was hard. Easiest thing I ever did. You just show up and don't quit.
Right.
Wait till you're super tired, cold.
Oh,
hungry.
sleep deprived.
and now you actually got to make a fucking decision that matters.
Well, and they're telling you can quit.
Yeah.
It can all be over.
They're encouraging it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, please quit.
Yeah.
Like, you get down there and you got to understand that every single person that has ever entered that program is the most important guy in their family,
Right.
in their hometown. Every single person knows he's about to be Navy SEAL.
Right.
Everyone.
Yeah.
When you make that call back to mom and dad and tell them it didn't happen,
Right.
she's got to go to see Karen at the fucking beauty shop and tell her, and she's going to tell the entire network.
Yeah.
Everybody
You
at the
quit.
local Walmart's going to know that your son just quit butts.
Right. That's the fear part where
It
it's like
is.
that. And also, if I don't do I'd be afraid of like, whoa, what the fuck else am I going to do? Like, if I don't do this, I'm going to be mopping the floor on a ship for 10 years.
Anytime you would see their PTs, like I'd go to Team 2 and I'd watch the old man, and that was back in like the Rudy Bosch days. It's like
Yeah.
buddy carry oak horses.
Oh, your dad. Oh, well, there's another thing. Like, if your dad's done it, you
well,
got it.
I
You
mean,
can't
like-
let your dad down.
Well, no, I mean, people do that shit all the time too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look at all that shit, all I knew for sure is that I was going to do that forever. Like, I thought log PT was a continuous thing
right.
because
You
that's
get
what they
into
do.
you get into that thing too where you've done it for so many weeks, and you just you decide like, oh, this is what my life is like.
So, were any of you, let's say, were you more physically gifted than other guys?
No, less.
So it is a mental thing.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
I mean,
because
it's like anything at a
physically
high
was
level.
fucking low on the bar when I
Yeah,
showed up.
anything that's like high level like that, it just gets to mental. I mean,
Yeah.
think about like, it's interesting seeing in golf Tiger Woods' career. Like, okay, so it's golf, it's not fighting, but holy shit, the mental. I mean, golf is mental. Like, the physical part of that is, most men should be able to do that. But the mental part of that, and you see his career, he's got times where he's an alien, he's so good, and then where, hell, you're probably as good as him. And, there's no difference in him physically.
Yeah, yeah.
He's still in his prime.
Did you see his latest documentary?
No.
No, I need to.
I bet
have
his
to.
real life
It starts
has
from
been
childhood,
crazy.
and you're curious on where his mental toughness came from.
Yeah.
His dad.
Just watch it.
Yeah, yeah. His kid's a specimen too. They did that thing recently where
really?
the kids were out, or like they could bring someone with them, and his kid was, and it's like a carbon copy.
I
of
mean,
Tiger.
you would think. I mean, something like that too. I mean, it goes one of two ways, it seems. But if your dad is the best in the world at something, and it consumes him, like, you're gonna get exposure. And now it's like so different than if you had a parent who was a pro athlete in like the 70s or 80s. Like, it's just such a big business now. I mean, look at Tom Brady or LeBron James and like the support that they have. Like, they have a whole support team, just for all types of wellness. Like, it's interesting.
Were you about to tell us you were a specimen going into buds?
You were a specimen, physical specimen.
No, I definitely grew up swimming and spent a lot of time in the surf.
Yeah, dude.
Specimen.
Yeah, he was a fucking
I would throw all the guys off because we basically spend the entire day in the water, wet, sandy, and all I could think about was how good the surf was about 30 minutes away. And once this was over, I was going to go surf and back in the water.
Oh yeah, because
Oh,
buds,
so
you guys.
so
can,
you just grew up with a natural love for the water. Yeah.
Pisces.
Yeah.
Oh whoa!
Wow.
Pisces.
I don't know shit about that.
That was
Sorry.
just fucking sick.
Pisces. Man, hey, I'm with
I
it.
got a love for
Forget
water.
DJ.
I'm sorry.
Hey, man, when I was a kid, I've said it before. I don't know if you guys have ever watched our podcast, but I've said it. Like, when I was a kid, I liked Star Wars pretty good, but like, my family didn't own guns, and we weren't into guns, and I didn't even like G.I. Joe when I was a kid. I wanted to
Like
grow up
Barbie, though.
to be a pirate. Like, that's what, like, to me, when I was a kid, I became fascinated at a young age with like pirate movies, and I'm like, this is what a man is. Like, to me, that was, I love it. I love the ocean and shit, but it's like, to me, I always just think I want to be a pirate.
That'd be pretty
Like,
cool.
if I were a billionaire, if I'm Elon Musk,
Fucking butt
I just
pirate.
gotta
Yeah.
Not that.
Well, when you grow up, you start learning, you start reading about pirates, and you find out they're all
Man,
banging
you don't
each
know.
other.
They weren't there.
Oh, the fuck they weren't. Those dudes were all banging each other.
Oh
for sure.
yeah.
Okay,
Spartans
so
too.
I'm not going to be your
Spartans
kind
too.
of pirate or your kind of pirate.
Oh, for sure.
Spartans were too.
Dude,
Big time. It's all
3
documented. and shit.
years on a boat together.
Yeah.
No chicks.
If the Navy's doing
Dude.
it now,
No,
they're doing
you
a thing,
land and
too.
you pillage, and there's women.
Yeah.
You guys know nothing. Watch a fucking pirate movie.
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity. Oh, man. God.
So how's that pilot thing going?
I haven't started yet, but I've looked like I
I'm
can
not
do it
even
right
sure
near
you
my.
can ride on my plane now.
Did you just kind of put it off and after that?
Well, everyone wouldn't shut the fuck up about me crashing everything. So I was like, well, I can't tell everyone I'm in pilot school or flight school or whatever because that's the only joke that's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm gonna start it. It's easy. They fly themselves now. But if I do it, you guys
see
can
what
jump
I'm
out of my
working
plane
with?
anytime.
See what I'm working
You
with.
got to buy a fucking parachute. You got to get an A license now if you're going to let him
Yeah.
fly you. Dude,
I'm
that shit
not
goes
letting
south, brother.
him
You got to
fly
go.
me.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, we'll get you set up on a little static
If I
plane.
if I do it like I say I'm gonna do it, at least tandem out the back of my plane.
Who's going to fly it then?
Now I'm gonna fly it. But if I get my license,
Trust
and I'm
me,
good to
if you
go,
get your license, I'm only
Ooh.
getting on your plane with a parachute.
that's what I
So-
mean. But like, it's a
Ooh,
whole
you're really
thing.
challenged.
All right, we'll do it. I'll jump out of it. You get your
Will you
pilot's
strap
license.
Kevin to the front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll strap him to you. He'll face you
chastity?
upside down.
Heated 69.
Yeah.
Fucking send it.
All right. Well, if it's your last year, no way he'll do it. My man, he's busy. He's got comics and shit to read. He ain't gonna go do it.
I don't think I've ever read a comic, but I'll try.
Yeah, dude.
He's playing cool now.
Shoulder can't do it anymore.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude, it's fucking toast. I went out jumping with him.
Go get some stem cell.
yeah, down to Panama.
Yeah, you got 25 G's I can fucking borrow?
Yeah,
I
he
do.
probably does. Yeah,
I
was gonna
do.
say he probably does.
Yeah,
I
you
do
got all-
okay. You need some money?
Yeah, you got all the stem cells. I'll go down there and get them. Dude, I watched that thing with it's my father-in-law, retired SEAL. Look, we're super inbred in my family. Like everybody's a SEAL.
Yeah.
My father-in-law got diagnosed with MS after 30 years on a fucking
Oh,
team.
shit, man.
When he retired, so we've been pumping him full of stem cells and
Yeah.
everything else. But that's what I was trying to do. We did a GoFundMe, raised a bunch of money, and got him that. But I wanted to go down. I saw that shit with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, his
and his
dad.
old man. Holy shit.
Yeah, his dad couldn't walk
Have
basically.
you seen how fucking good Mel Gibson looks?
Oh yeah,
Dude, he's old as shit.
yeah.
I mean, there's several. I've watched probably 10 sort of mini documentaries about that. Everything from like some UFC fighters to NFL to just some celebrities to, people with some chronic stuff, just random people, and fucking amazing. It's just so infuriating that we can't get that technology here.
Well,
That you have
yeah.
to go there. Like,
We can. They just won't let us.
well, isn't that sort of the same thing?
Yeah, that's true.
You won't give us stem cells, you give us a fucking COVID vaccine.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Along the same lines of while there's canopy, while there's
just killed my
canopies,
vibe
while there's
thinking about
canopies in the
that.
top, but how do you feel about static line and guys still doing? Like, do you think that's necessary anymore?
No.
No.
I mean,
Well, I just feel like
Yeah.
people get fucked up all the time.
mean,
like,
you know,
I've
they-
got friends in 82nd shit,
yeah,
and
well,
like,
I mean,
Well, you
for
got to
the
look at why they
82nd
do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like what capability they're doing it for.
yeah, like why
Yeah.
are they doing that? Like,
Right.
why does the Ranger Regiment still
Right.
static line?
yeah,
Because not everybody's free fall. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to be.
right,
But we need to deliver like 1,000 motherfuckers over,
right, yeah,
like Normandy style. Like, you got to
Right.
be able to static line those
Yeah.
guys in.
yeah,
I mean, the logistics to try to clear 12,000 feet of airspace just for a normal skydive,
Right.
not even like a crazy offset. Like, it's a lot.
yeah,
Like, it's really easy to cruise these dudes over, low to the ground, and dump them all out.
yeah.
Have you ever watched Elon Musk's like 2 podcasts
Yeah.
and how he kind of started and what he started with the platform and kind of what he reinvented? Kind of with his background and story. We give that to us?
With this, oh god, because I was about to blow you guys the fuck up with some questions about things, but I'll save it. Like I've said before, and I said a moment ago, I grew up in the city with my family's from South Georgia, from the country. Grew up on farms, came to the city in the '60s, and I wouldn't say they were absolutely anti-gun, but we didn't have guns. They weren't real into it, and I was fascinated with guns, but anything mechanical. Like all the men in my family, like my father, when I was young, built an airplane and flew it, and all like his brothers are all either architect, engineers, or in finance. All math and mechanically inclined, and firearms interested me. I think my father is much smarter than I am, but firearms, it's like the maximum. Like, I couldn't design like aircraft, but with guns I can understand it. It's at a level where it makes sense to me and I understand it. So with all that being said, like, I think I was fortunate to find firearms, but I didn't grow up, probably like you guys, like, your family's all Navy SEALs. You're going to be a fucking Navy SEAL. Like, you're into that shit. Like, I just didn't, and I didn't care that much. But and I think it's been an interesting, like, in retrospect so far with my career, it's been an interesting place because, like, I don't love our industry from the Second Amendment to me is no more important than the other amendments, other than it's the one that guarantees I can say whatever the fuck I want because I got a gun. But, even from that perspective, like 2A, yeah, it's important. It's not more important than me being able to say whatever I want or for my daughter to have the right to vote when she's a proper age or any of this other shit. It's like, so from that perspective, I just believe in fucking freedom. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want if it doesn't fuck with someone else. And I appreciate the sacrifices that have been made, not just from you guys in your tenure or your dads or your father-in-law, but, dudes 200 years ago, what it took for us to have this shit. But with guns, it came to, I was interested in it. I shot a gun with a silencer as a teenager with Navy SEALs, actually. And it was MP5 SD, and they had all their guns out, and I was at a range thing, and I was like, shot that, and I was fucking amazed. And I'm like, why don't all your guns have silencers? It was the only one. And, I got whatever answer. But in hindsight, like, that's the day I started my company because it was very fascinating to me. I was like, all these guns, like, it sucks. It's so loud. It's miserable. I don't like it. But this one is really cool, and it seems like it's a super advantage if all your guns were like this. And so that kind of started that journey. So you fast forward to working within SOCOM and within the Navy, and the Navy wanted 7.62 by 39 through their M4 variant that they were using. But it doesn't work because the case head's too big, and the taper of the case requires a full curve magazine, which is a really great design. So if you see, like, probably not your dad, but the generation before him when they were Navy SEALs in Vietnam, they had the Stoner 63 rifle. It's a full fucking curve magazine because it's correct. Well, the 223 case has a slight taper, 7.62 by 39, much more aggressive. So the AK mag is really curved. So you guys had combat development working on that, but it doesn't work. It's not reliable enough for you guys for what you needed in combat. And so 300 Whisper was a Wildcat cartridge, which was basically the 223 case with a 308 bullet shoved in it. And so, combat development's working with that, but it's not exactly right. And we started doing all the silencers for the SEAL teams with my old company. And so the head of CDD, who at the time, and we all know, is a wonderful human being and was a great asset for the Navy. Before he retired, he said, hey, Remington, this is the time I think he knew they were buying my old company. They hadn't bought it yet. And he's like, working with this Wildcat cartridge, but it's not completely reliable. And could you guys, through your engineering and then having an ammo company now that's acquiring you, take a look at this and see if it's something you guys could help us with? Because I built like 20 guns or whatever, and like 5 of them work great, and the rest don't. But the 5 guys that have the ones that work will not give them back. So the idea was a 30 caliber bullet through an M4 base gun that was the power of the AK with a short barrel, and you had a subsonic capability, which the Navy, fortunately, has always been very progressive with silencers. And I said, yeah, let us look at it. And we go home, and we shoot at some. God dang it, man. Fucking planes.
It's the Navy, man.
Planes, Navy, Jesus.
Air Force would do it, too.
It'd be quiet.
A-10? Whew,
Yeah.
quiet.
So we go home in a couple weeks. We load up ammo and everything, and I'm like, this has real potential, and it's cool. And silencers on the commercial market are becoming real popular. And for me, growing up in the South, too, it's like, this is like, the modern 30-30, an AR with this. And so, it kind of took off, and we did uppers. So the Navy actually picked the barrel length, the 9-inch barrel, and we developed ammo for that because especially, the war in Iraq, barrel lengths kept getting shorter, but all the ammo is designed for longer barrels. So we designed all the ammo for 9-inch barrels and to be used in conjunction with silencers. And
It's a good one.
Jesus,
Yeah.
buzzing the tower, fucking Goose is all like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I can't wait for that new Top Gun movie.
do some of that
Like, I
fire.
want to hate Tom Cruise, and I think he's the biggest idiot in the world. But fuck, man,
He does some of that pilot
Top
shit,
Gun,
man.
awesome movie, and the new one looks fucking incredible. I want to see it. I don't
go see
care.
it.
So, anyway, so it's all good in the hood. We do 300 blackout. We do uppers for M4 base guns, silencers. We come up with super and subsonic ammo that's good, reliable, full mag capacity. It's great. But there was another asset within SOCOM that really wasn't in the same position, but we could replace the MP5 SD, and that was just like me. I think being privy to some of the life cycle stuff and the way that things were done, and I knew that was a place where we could develop a gun, and so the Honey Badger was born, and the first one. So it was a whole new weapon to get 300 blackout into the system in another unit that just gave them a capability that wasn't out there. And at the time, the big Army was talking about a PDW, and this made all the sense in the world. And there's the Knights Armament PDW they did, which was actually 6 Whisper, so 6x35. And that was a 4-pound gun, super fucking cool. No subsonic capability, but a cool gun, a great cartridge.
One of the coolest.
Yeah. But this was a way for us to get this into another unit. So the original one weighed 4 pounds with the silencer. It was super compact. It wasn't nearly as quiet as this, but they could see right away. Like, instead of having a submachine gun, something 9mm that weighs 8 pounds. Like, what are you gonna like? There's this debate all the time. Like, a 9mm, and the MP5 SD, has the ported barrel, so you're basically shooting a 380. Like, how far would you guys trust to shoot somebody with a 380?
I don't really shoot people past 150.
Fucking crickets.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
That's because I have to.
yeah,
But with
wouldn't be my round of choice. I mean, we're doing CQB with that thing. Like, what do you do when you get outside?
Right.
yeah,
Like,
and
what do you
even,
do if the guy across the street comes out?
Well,
Like, what are you gonna do with that?
you know what you're saying is exactly what this group said. Because I was thinking, even if you're wearing like leather coat and
Yeah,
heavy
winter
winter
time or
clothing,
something. Yeah.
even at 25, it's like,
Like-
But what they said was, we need it for, whether it's hostage rescue or whatever. So it needs to be super lightweight, compact, and we want subsonic because we want it to be super quiet. So they like this configuration. They're like, we want supersonic just if shit goes bad outside. Because if we have 9mm and somebody's shooting like with a PKM a block away, or even an AK, like, you're fucked. You got a
Throwing rocks at
9mm.
'em.
And so that was the idea of this. And so this gun was born. And, it was interesting. And I loved it because at this time we been working with a lot of SOCOM for several years. And that's how I became real into it, was they could move faster with weapon development. And then also, you work with guys over time. They become your friends and you understand actually what's going on. Because, my family didn't have a history of military service or anything. So I don't really, you just don't really think about it. Like every other asshole, you just take shit for granted. Like, I get to do what I want every day. But then understanding that. But when you become friends with these guys and 9/11 kicks off and it's like, oh, guys that you deal with, like, they die. And it's like, okay, well, how can we help with that? And we have special operations units where we can maybe give them a little bit of an edge. Whether it's silencers, lighter guns, like whatever the thing is, like a signature reduction, just an ability, hopefully, to be more efficient and more effective and have a better shot at, coming back. Like, that was kind of the whole goal. And then for me, it's like, you couldn't always rely on military business. So, like, what's the commercial crossover? And that was always important to me because I don't want to have to charge the military $12,000 for this gun. Although within SOCOM, whether it's the Navy or the Army, guns cost nothing compared to like mobility and shit. But if I can make it a commercial success, then it's very easy for me to devote time and energy because I get so much testing and I become so educated on, because whatever, I say it all the time, like if you got to shoot a terrorist with something, it's the same stuff for hunting primarily, or either self-defense here or whatever. And I think I found my niche there. And the Honey Badger and 300 Blackout, I think, was really the first. It was the first real product of that part of my career, and that passion. But I think that's where it came from, and the gun continues to evolve, but it's staying true to what it was 10 years ago. Super compact, lightweight, not a bunch of extra frills, but designed to be quiet and effective and offering super subsonic with something that's very lethal. I don't know. There's a long
even
rant
the improvements that you've made on it too, as far as the fast twist barrel, that kind of thing. Like that alone is. And we talked about it at dinner last night. Like people just don't know enough about what happens when you spin the bullet faster, and it changes the game completely. And the fact that a lot of companies don't do it, like Daniel Defense doesn't do it on their PD, did their copy of this short barrel, and they're running 1 and 8. Like,
yeah, it's dumb. I mean, improvements with this, going with the fast twist barrel, tapered muzzle, adjustable gas block, but it's still lighter than everything else on the market. And that idea is, if you're just going to run primarily subs, you tune it for that. And if you want to run primarily supers, you can tune it for that. Just continuous improvement as we learn and grow. And I still, you can see, like, I go on like this fucking 15-minute rant about this stupid thing. It's like I'm still as passionate about it and believe in it and get excited every single day. 27 years later, here we are.
No, it fucking should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this too, like, it's a 4.5 pound gun, and it's not all skeletonized and what cool guy look. It's just, it was done the right way. It wasn't just a half-assed thing.
Yeah, you guys probably know with all your equipment when you talk about like the fucking parachutes. I'm sure there are parachutes you can get for $1,000.
Yeah.
And there's probably, for me, you take me to look at them, I'm like, what the fuck's the difference? And it's the same thing with this, but we take a pound or pound and a half out of this compared to everyone else on the market because every part we took a few ounces out of where we could from a real engineering perspective, not just hacking the barrel down to 4 inches or skeletonizing the receiver. And, you start doing that, it's like the engineering, it costs money. Like I say it all the time, magic ain't cheap, man.
Oh, you goddamn right it ain't.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with training. Like, you guys could watch videos on training and be like, oh, yeah, I've never seen that. Cool. Okay, I got it now. Like, yeah, not without going and doing it. You just can't replace it.
You can't fake the reps, man.
No.
Like, you can't. Like, there is no shortcut to being a fucking black belt.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
isn't. Like you can't.
Because even from y'all's perspective, like when we partner with other nations and you guys would, like whatever, be deployed and you do some training or you team up with other nations to do things, it's like you can show the guys stuff and that's cool. It doesn't, and I think you see the same thing with a lot of our products. For another shameless plug is you can copy whatever we're doing, whether it's, robotic welding or tubeless design, or you can paint your gun to look like ours. You can do all this shit, but you still got the same basic shit that weighs 1.5 pounds more, and you don't get the fast twist. You don't get all the things that we learn over time.
Well, so another thing that we've kind of talked about, we talked about a little bit with Tom Smith from the Army and everything. I think consumers, when they think of silencers, especially it's becoming way more popular now, I think the consumers just think about, I need the quietest thing that I can get. But maybe not so much now, but at least when you guys were active, like, what was the point of you having silencers? What were things that you were looking for with a silencer?
Well,
and maybe it transitions now. I don't know.
I'll just talk from personal experience. I wasn't a fan of the suppressors we had while I was in.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I thought they weighed too much. I didn't like the way they were attached. I didn't. I thought they gave a shit ton of blowback. They were a nightmare. And I think the people that were testing the suppressors weren't doing it with a high understanding, a high CQB IQ, to know that that gun is very rarely sitting in a shoulder pocket, allowing the gas to dissipate out of the right port. It's not.
Yeah.
That thing's rolled over on its side. The shit is blowing back in my face, and it's a serious issue.
Yeah.
It is. Like, different rounds, like, hey man, I'm running what I can. Like I might be running a combination of 77 grain and 70 grain. I might throw in, we ran frange for a while.
Yeah. 5.56.
There was a time period too
Oh,
we didn't
ships
run
and
suppressed.
stuff, yeah.
Oh, dude, we didn't run suppress in 05 a little bit.
Yeah.
In 07, basically everybody
Yeah.
took them off.
The B.
Yeah,
Myers
07,
flash
yeah.
hiders.
Everybody
Steve
put them
Myers.
back on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't run Air Pro.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
didn't fucking wear Peltors until I was an adult.
Yeah.
My entire time in teams, I didn't
yeah,
do
you're
anything.
shit shot. Then. You know, one interesting thing, because I hear you, and I think you're right for the time, but what a lot of people now don't understand, because I was there, 15 years before you, and then through it, and like back then in '96, Knights Armament did the SOP mod can, and by the time you guys come on, you're like, fuck that thing, like whatever, but it exceeded the requirement at the time, and technology's really evolved with that stuff, but that's a lot of times you're only going to get stuff good as your requirement that's written, and so.
Well, I mean, and we talk about it, like you don't know what you don't know. Like I'm a
That's
19-year-old
right.
kid. I don't know a fucking thing about that night suppressor, but I know what it does in the middle of the night and IADS when it launches off your gun. It's
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Bowflage.
Yeah,
I know what that FOD walk down looks like
Yeah.
for 7 hours on your fucking hands and knees with night vision, everybody screaming at you. I know exactly what that looks like.
yeah.
And then I know what that AEC does.
Right.
Like that was the only two I really had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then, like when we did all the AAC stuff, and now, it's like looking back at, you when you go through buds at 135 pounds, and then compared to 10 years later. Like at AAC, all we had to go on at the time, the night silencer. And so I would listen to the guys, like, what are your complaints? Okay, you do that. And then, the only real competitors then were Surefire and us. They were the only real ones doing stuff. And, it's much different now. The market's way bigger, as a result of the war and like political stuff here in the U.S., the demographic commercial market's way bigger. So there's a lot of silencer choices, and now it's well accepted. The Navy's always been relatively progressive, but the Army, when I started working with them, like they had no silencers. Like they didn't believe in it. And that wasn't that long ago, 15 years ago. Like you ask a guy in SF in the Army about fuck silencers, they're terrible, they're heavy, the accuracy sucks, blah, blah, blah. I'm a Ranger, we're not doing that shit. It's like the way it was. And it's just so stuff keeps getting better. But we didn't know, even on the industry side then, what we didn't know back then. Like and I still think if it hadn't been for the war and how serious the conflict was and how rapidly things were progressing, I had probably more direct involvement than maybe industry will have for small arms. Like the lasers and stuff and night vision, that has to have a lot of involvement. But just on, some of the other hard goods side, then anybody will have for a long time, because it's like shit had to happen fast. And so, SOCOM kind of pulled the skirt up a little bit and would let us get really involved because they were wanting new product stuff that hadn't been done before, and we had to understand what guys actually needed.
And speaking for myself back on that side, I didn't know anything about titanium versus Inconel and Spark. Like nobody really cared, because it was like the only reason we're doing this is mask the sound. I'm not trying to. That's why we call them suppressors. Like I've never heard anyone call it a silencer. My entire career, I've never heard that term.
Yeah.
And like I even corrected people. Like, hey, we're mailing you some silencers. Dude, I've never even heard that. Like, yeah, we're a silencer company. Really? Like, you ever heard that? Never. It's always suppressor.
Yeah.
Always. Like
We've talked about that. It was like a taboo thing to say silencer.
Like none of us, like we're not fucking engineers. Like I'm an end user. I don't know anything about that other than how to thread it on and use it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want me to tell you if it's too heavy, yeah, it's too fucking heavy.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you your buttstock sucks? Yeah, it does. Like the forward grip comes off. This happens. That happens. It overheats. Like I can tell you what it does when I don't clean the fucking thing for 6 months.
Yeah.
But it's like the actual weight of this thing. Like I just know that I'm so exhausted from carrying this thing for 8 hours. So by the time I get to target, man, dude, give me anything right now, except for this.
Yeah.
Like we have, like with the 416, that thing was so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
The only thing left on that entire unit was the lower. Like I have all my furniture downstairs.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, pick through everything. I stripped that entire fucking gun out.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think at a certain level, like when you ascend, and basically the mission set becomes your why, you start to experiment. You start to make your own gear, make your own fucking slings. Like, hey, I'm going to skeletonize my work gun with a bunch of shit from the DTC market. because it's better.
If you have the ability, and you know, I experience it in hunting now. Like if I go hunting and I've got to go, like we're doing spot and stalk stuff, and it's at 10,000 feet, and like, oh my God, I don't take care of myself, and it's like, I'm not taking anything I don't have to make a shot. Like there is nothing. I got one bottle of water, have the lightest sling, fuck the bipod because it weighs a pound. Like so, if you carry a gun, you'll get it, and it doesn't have to be even in like, you know, a capacity where it's a 2-way range. And a lot of those things start to make sense to me. Like I don't need ambi controls. You know, I just don't need all these things because all that shit starts adding up.
I mean, like for me, I personally I don't run ambi controls because I can't run them as fast. Mm-hmm. Like the way I put my trigger finger, when I slide to actually activate the safety selector, I drive right through that point. If I have one there, it's slower.
That kind of brings up something when people ask us about doing lefty models all the time. I know you shoot lefty. So I shoot a handgun lefty, but a long gun righty.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm all fucked up. One of the things
flies a drone upside down.
Yeah, one of the things. Yeah, I was inverted. One of the things that comes up a lot is on handguns is lefty or ambi controls.
I hate it.
I grew up just having to use my trigger finger to drop the slide. Mm-hmm. Do you use your thumb if there's ambi controls, or does it slow you down?
I have such a history of manipulating from right-handed side.
Yeah,
it's rare. You know, but depending on, I have different guns that have a lefty mag release. That's a righty. But what we're always training for is worst case scenario. We're at your house, and you're a righty. You sure as hell don't have any lefty setups.
Right.
I better be able to function a right-handed gun.
Right. And I think that's kind of a point that, at least when I talk to these people who ask about, oh, can you make a lefty variant, I'm like, what have you done your whole life? Like, have you not just got, like, I got used to shooting a righty. Have you just not done that?
From an engineering and manufacturing perspective, when you start adding parts and stuff like that, it's bad.
Right.
Like, you're not making the gun more reliable when you make stuff ambi.
And
max,
you could think
like
it does. 8%.
What's that?
8% maybe of the market's lefty.
Yeah.
They're very vocal.
And people, Kevin,
God, they got a loud fucking voice in the room, don't they? It's like the guys with small T-shirts. Where have all you people lived?
Kevin's made brought it up before too, where people think you just, like, in the 3D model, they think you just hit flip and flip it to right, and then that's it. But they don't understand that is not how you make a lefty gun.
All control left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
brother.
Yeah, but it does, and then too having ambi guns. Like I carried a P7 PSP for a while, squeeze cock gun.
Flex.
Yeah. Well, this is when they were not. It wasn't a flex.
Yeah.
But you have the thumb release for them. So the American version or whatever, the M8, it's got the ambi mag.
Yeah.
Thing digs into you and the mag pops out all the time. It's like, it's stupid.
Did you carry that as a hand warmer? That gun?
No. So
it will be a hand warmer for you.
Yeah, just if you shoot. But every time from a design standpoint, or when you add parts to the gun, like, it's not a good thing if you're relying on the gun.
Yeah.
Don't add shit to it. Like, just don't.
Yeah, you kind of talked to them a little bit about downstairs about even things as simple as putting a shim or putting magic marker on a shim on a muzzle device. Like, just that small thing throws something off, and you just
there is the butterfly effect. Like, you don't know. And most companies, the commercial market is so big in our country that most companies, number one, don't have actual engineers. Number two, don't do actual testing. And I would say we would suck at testing if Ethan and I had not spent a dozen years, having, SOCOM's testing jammed down our throat for everything we did. And then you get an understanding, and it starts to go into the design phase of firearms. So, like our testing of our own products, because we don't want to design something, even if it's for the commercial market, and you guys be like, or SOCOM or somebody come to us and be like, hey, we need this for that, and then have to redesign it or explain away something. It's just easier to do it from the beginning. And you can't fake it. Like, I've been there on the range when they break the shit out of our stuff and say, please go back and make this right. Yeah, I mean that doesn't taste good. And it's just easy. It's more expensive to do it the right way up front, but overall it's easier. Because I wanted to ask you guys. So I want to do several things. And we need to talk about what else you guys do. But I see you have the aim point on here. Aim point or EOTech? What do you prefer?
Free.
Yeah. Well, that
It's
that
like
brings
me
up a
with
point.
alcohol.
Are you guys big gun guys? Like, I think people assume that you're
So, I'm not a fucking big gun guy.
right.
I'm not. I shot what I did at work, but I don't turn that fucking thing on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, in the style of shooting that we do, like, everything's instinctive.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that thing confirms it, but, like, I mean, we'll show you guys today on the range. Like, I don't need to sight that fucking gun in to run standards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't
For
know.
real. So you can go do it and not even turn the dot on.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, you got your reps in.
But, I mean, like
Well,
our
that's
pistol,
still
like,
fun.
we talk about overgripping the pistol. We shot one, we shot off both fucking Delta Point Pros. They sheared the bolts off. I'm in the middle of a class, and I was like, here's a lesson, instinctive shooting. We brought him to 10-yard line, and we ran every drill with nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, when we do the heads-up display and I drive that pistol out in my eye line, it's like shooting a fucking dart.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If I make everything the same and I drive that gun out, head flat and level, and I line it up, it'll be there.
Yeah, I've seen you correlate pistol shooting, rifle shooting. Same stance. It's the same exact thing.
Because
one
if
just
you-
has 3 points of contact, one doesn't.
If you make it the same, then under duress, it becomes muscle memory.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to not have to relearn. I have to parry this. I have to sweep this arm. I have to
Yeah.
like. I don't have that many different styles of kung fu I can do, man.
Yeah.
I can't retain it. So we just do what we're good at. Like I'll just make everything the same. So like my right straight looks just like my pistol draw.
Yeah.
My feet are in the same position. It's walking. It's easy.
I mean, me personally too. The only gunfights I've been in were at nighttime, and there wasn't a unity mount.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, we sighted in, like, trained for all.
Oh, so you're saying that this
Riser.
giant, high, ridiculous mount, that's for if you're running nods.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's great now. Like, it comes up to your eye line, you can see it right through the nods.
So that's great. So
You were
actually in
much faster
combat,
shooting that.
you didn't have that. So you're just, were you using the laser?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. You can shoot from the hip then. Who cares?
I mean, I ran one deployment. I didn't have an optic on there. I had iron sights. Like, if we got stuck
Are you
out-
serious?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
You had a bunch
I mean,
of old school dudes. that
like
did
you
that.
don't think about it, but when the government's paying for night vision and thermal and the bad guys generally don't have it, it's definitely the time to pick a fight.
I mean, dude, like you run around. You need a flashlight. You need an eye or laser. Like you're not turning that fucking thing. I mean,
Yeah.
not unless the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Like you spend your entire career in the fucking dark.
Yeah.
That's why you look at guys like I'll throw a shout out to a dude who's got a shit ton. Jamie Caldwell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That
Jamie.
dude, that motherfucker's
Fucking
probably got
bass
more,
fisherman.
That bro,
Yeah.
that dude's probably got more time eating MREs on nods than 3/4 of people on fucking earth.
Yeah.
But it's like, so do we. Like I spent my entire career on those fucking things. Like there's nothing I haven't done.
Yeah.
Like I mean, we talked about it the other day. Like
Literally nothing.
yeah, I mean like everything I've done in the daytime, I've done on fucking night vision at this point.
Right.
He's
cool.
confirmed
Skateboard.
that with some meetings, and he said that. People were like,
Fuck.
literally nothing? He's like, literally nothing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, weird shit, but it's like you get so used to not turning that thing on. It gives a splash back in your face, and we weren't set up for passive shooting. Like that was never. We've never even discussed it. It's never been a thing. It's like the Unity mount comes out, and I have to be able to teach it to some of these guys because their department or their SOP require it.
What do you think that'll become a thing now? Is it an advantage if you have no?
I mean, it is if that becomes your SOP.
Yeah.
But a heads up, like if you're running true IR, I mean, there's no reason to look through a tube to look through another tube to try to superimpose that over you. Like, how do you PID a weapon?
I
How
mean,
do
I,
see his
I mean, I
intent?
guess all that is really to get you consistent in how you're pointing the gun and shooting it.
Well, I mean, you do the same thing.
Because with close quarters, yeah. So seeing the dot on the dude's fast.
But a lot of those guys now with the way they set them up, if they revert back to their old cheek well and they drop them down, their nods are going to crash into that thing, and now they've got a skewed optic. They've got one tube that flips out.
Oh,
So that's why I'm not a big fan of the passive shooting.
Yeah.
I love the ability, but I like that thing because it puts your head in a better display for us to be able to correct you.
Right.
Because now it's normal. Like you're just looking here. I don't have to search. I don't have to lean over my lead leg to get all weird. Just stand up fucking normal, man.
Yeah.
Like stitch your weight back, drive that gun up, and look just like you're gonna shoot a spitball.
And so you guys weren't, or were you the exception? Like, were other guys just not running optics? Is that because it's cool that you bring it up, and if you search for it, you don't ever hear a lot of guys. They'll just tell you, like if we
Well-
ask that question, they'll just tell you one.
Well, it's I mean, like they said, they did all their stuff at night, and that's probably within the military. That's probably rare, I would assume.
I mean, I had 3 different platforms, and specifically the one I wasn't running optics on was an MP7.
You just run a laser.
Situational dependent.
Yeah.
I mean, like I had
But
EOTechs
I
and
mean-
points on all my shit.
Yeah.
I didn't turn them on at
Yeah,
night.
you didn't need them. Yeah.
No, I turned. If the daytime came on, I turned them on. But
Super dark too would have put off light.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you're probably talking about general infantry or the Rangers or
Yeah.
something, they're probably using the optics a fair amount.
Absolutely.
Daytime.
Well, so
Well,
now,
I mean, are they?
Mhm.
Like, if everybody's running around night vision now, like,
yeah,
like
oh, I mean,
they're
are
not
they
shooting
all
through a
doing
tube.
shit at night?
right,
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's out right now
yeah.
is doing shit at night.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, God.
Well, so now, if they're both free, EOTech or Aimpoint.
I think there's a shooter preference.
What's your preference?
If I could do a combination,
Ooh,
I like that.
we know the answer is EOTech. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll move on.
All right. So we got that.
it's got a nice reticle.
It does have a nice
It
reticle.
does.
So
Kevin
for
can
me-
explain why it's faster to you too.
So for me, just being honest, when I dial that thing up, I had an overpressure injury years ago in my eye, so I have a TBI-related ocular dysfunction. So like if I try to concentrate, like if I try to zoom in, I can't see. Looks like I'm looking through cellophane. So the whole EOTech looks like I can actually pick that one up. When I do
Right.
that one, it fractures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if I'm trying to pinpoint, if I'm trying to drill them,
I
it's
mean,
not really a thing.
EOTech's way friendlier on holds.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier.
Yeah.
Because if not, like we run that, with that elevated riser, it all becomes a math equation. Like height over bore. It's like it's a lot easier to explain it to a group of fucking young guys,
Yeah.
like private business dudes that don't really know the why. Like
Yeah.
use the EOTech, it'll just solve it.
Yeah.
You don't have room for air to take a headshot, so it's like that EOTech reticle definitely helps on the offset.
I mean, I find it even with like movers, like pig hunting, EOTech is just way better.
If you
Like I can just get the circle over something and shoot, because you start focusing on just have that dot, getting the dot just right. And
if you are interested in learning like why it's faster and all that stuff, tomorrow, I mean not when this comes out, but tomorrow in real time, we did a podcast with EOTech and they get
Oh,
down
cool.
and dirty, and it's a good one.
Yeah, they actually get the science behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
I learned more on that podcast.
The frames your eye can actually process.
right. Yeah, and
Oh,
what holography, how it all works. It's crazy.
Yeah, and why it's better. And, I didn't even realize the difference. Like, it's an actual laser in there. Because the only problem I have with EOTech at this point is it's bigger and heavier than this. But then when they explain why and the benefits of it, and, and even like I don't generally use magnifiers, but if you do, like that dot doesn't grow where this one does. So if you use a 3x magnifier, that dot gets bigger times 3, and EOTech doesn't. So it was interesting. I was totally stoked, and they showed us a bunch of new products they got coming out at SHOT Show, and so the employees bought it back from L3, and so now they're driven to spend money on innovation for small arms, and
Yeah.
it's cool. So I'm excited. Anyway,
Back to GBRS Group. I think the stuff you guys are kind of giving real time feedback on products that I think certain products, a lot of people have kind of fallen for the myths of their favorite influencers or whatever. And you're just, if it's cool, it's cool. Or if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, it's not good. And here's why we don't think it's good.
I mean, it should be. I mean, that's the way the world should be. It should actually be merit.
Yeah. And I think the big thing, it's solutions. Like if you think something's bad, don't just say it's bad. And just come up with something like, here's how I think you could fix it. And it may be completely wrong, but it's something, it's a solution. And I think that's something that I see that you guys put out a lot.
I mean, so something that drives me fucking crazy is when people start to talk shit. They'll send me a guy's bio and want me to talk shit on him. They'll send me a product. Like, look how fucking stupid this is. Okay. My grandfather was stacking fucking Nazis this tall with an M1 Garand with no fucking sling on it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. It's a mindset thing. Like, that fucking tool will do whatever I tell it to.
Yeah.
If it will, then it's fucking perfect. Like, whatever I have in my hand is the best tool for the fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck really what the caliber is, but if it goes bang every time I pull the trigger, and I can minimize the recoil and I can put accurate rounds on target, as many as fucking possible, then it's fine. So when people are like, the Colt M4 is a piece of shit, really? That's a very fucking strange thing to say. Like, I don't.
And a stupid thing.
Yeah. What?
Like, that's
What?
That's strange.
Yeah.
Or you'll get these fucking dudes that'll just talk shit about everything.
Right.
Like, you have never even leveled a gun at a human being with the intent to fucking shoot them. You're 14 years old. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Or you get the latter of the two, but
I mean, it is a thing that social media is really breeding, which is interesting.
yeah, it's like you've got dudes that pour their heart and soul into a fucking product because they're trying to build a fucking better mousetrap. Right. And you're not even educated enough to give a fucking opinion on it.
Yep.
You're just talking shit because you want to hate. Like, really what you're doing is you're just delaying knowledge.
No, I mean,
like,
yeah, it's
you're ruining a
of
fucking
haters.
possibility because I would have loved to have this fucking gun 10 years ago.
Right.
Like, I
Yeah.
would have. It's like, we don't have the daisy. I mean,
Yeah.
like the right negative influence can ruin like generational knowledge. transfer.
It's so stupid because with social media, it's rare that the right people get the voice. It's so funny. You said like 10 years ago in guns, and that reminds me of when I think I said this on another podcast, but the NBA finals. So I love basketball. I can't stand the NBA currently or for like the last 20 years, but I've always loved basketball and played basketball. And Magic Johnson was one of the commentator. He was like a guest commentator on the NBA Finals a couple years ago. You know, when the Golden State Warriors were dominating, and Steve Kerr was the head coach, and he was on Jordan's championship team. So somebody knows about fucking winning. And Magic Johnson said, I think our '86 Laker team could beat the Golden State Warriors. And he's like, and they asked Steve Kerr about it. He's like, that fucking idiot. He's like, yeah. People get worse over time. Like, products get worse. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, we would dominate them by 50 points. Like, tell him to be quiet. It was like a good thing. Like, for the time, it was the best shit. Now, no. And it should. I mean, products should get better over time. We should get better at our jobs.
Like, I mean, if you're not seeing a steady influx of growth, then, I mean, go to the Smithsonian right now and look at the first Medal of Honor. Look at his uniform. That dude is 5'1". He was standard height. He weighed 115 fucking pounds. We've evolved.
Yeah.
We're bigger, we're stronger, we're faster, we're smarter. I mean, for fuck's sake, like, that's an engineering marvel.
Yeah.
It is. Because someone sat down and gave enough time and gave a fuck enough about the end user to design it.
Yeah.
And you didn't get complacent. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. I've arrived.
Oh, complacency.
I've arrived.
It's the enemy of innovation. I love it. Like, I do the number one thing you shouldn't do on the internet with haters because I get so many and I fucking love it. Because I'll engage their little asses.
You certainly will.
It's like, hey, okay. And it depends. If it's a real personal attack, like, yeah, it's okay. But then it'll be like, okay, explain, like, 7.62 by 39 is better than 300 blackout. Okay. How? Like, you want to run your fucking mouth, let's talk about it. And it always ends up the same way. It's a personal thing. It'll end up as a personal attack. And then for me, it's like real easy. It's like, see, you're going after me on the internet. I've never heard of you. Okay, you've heard of me because of my accomplishments. So accomplishments. Like, what the fuck have you done? Like, okay, maybe you do know more than me. Like, what do you do for a living? You successful? You a real smart guy? Like, what do you do? Like, I'll listen to you.
Well, that's the thing that I think I like to observe when you do engage with certain people, where they'll say things to you about programs that you were a part of directly, and they're just say the most wild shit
and tell me how it went and why things are the way they are.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to observe.
Because I'll engage. For good or for bad. Like, I love the haters. Oh my God, because it's like I say all the time, keeps me from having to pay for advertising. But even last night, like, I'll engage the cool guys. Like, we decided to have a meetup last minute, and homie, we have no idea who he is. He's like, dude, I live around here. It's my birthday. Oh, it makes my birthday. I'm gonna get to meet you guys tonight. See you guys. Blah blah blah. And then we get him a birthday card and a birthday present and wrap it and take it to him, and like, we'll engage them too. Yeah. But the haters. Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, people saying dumb shit when they don't know what they're talking about.
Do you guys get a lot of negative feedback? I'm sorry, Kevin. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. I mean,
because I don't seem to see a lot.
But what it is, it's a bunch of people that want you to badmouth other people. It's like, I'll all throw some. Everybody does the Army fucking Navy thing. I don't know why. But they'll send me a dude who.
You guys do it. From my experience, it's because of you guys. Oh, God. All the great jokes I know about it came from one side or the other. Because I work with both equally, and I loved it.
I mean, I think there's a rivalry, but
Yeah.
the,
It was
the
healthy.
real, true, like, professionals that show up every day will work together.
There's a big
no matter
fucking
where you
difference.
came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Like
will.
playing the game and living the game. There's two different fucking sides of the coin. And for the people
It's
that live
always with
game,
the haters. Your peers are never your haters.
Yeah.
like
We've
some-
done mutual things together.
for sure.
Yeah.
We have.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it. We've posted the video, but like Garantham is undeniably one of the biggest like gun reviewer YouTube guys, whatever. He did a video on the honey badger,
He
and
has great videos. I
in
like
the opening of it, he said, "I've never had this many people reach out to me to do a bad review. Like people in the industry would pay me to do a bad review on this
He
gun."
called him
because
out.
of-
He said other companies, our competitors, when they found out he was going to do a honey badger review, offered him money to say it was bad. It's
Yeah.
like, how fucking pathetic are you? if
just
you do
because
shit like that?
just
And
because
good on him
we
for calling
engage
him
with
out.
shit. Yeah, just because of the things that Kevin said. Like, if you're going to be a shithead, or if you're going to say some crazy shit, we're going to ask you why you think that, and you're not going to be able to, like, just because of that, like, I don't know.
Well, you guys will see as you grow, too. It's like you'll get these, whether it's 22-year-old kids or 14-year-old kids that think they can come into your house, and we'll call that like your Instagram or social media page that you own and run, and think they can say whatever they want to you, and you have to respond in a professional manner. And I'm like, I view it just like my house. Like, everybody's welcome, but you do some dumb shit in my house, like, get the fuck out. And, I'll give it right back to you. Like, I don't owe someone something. If you don't want to buy our products because I'm an asshole, then don't buy our products. I'm fine with that. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's
But
the-
I'm not going to tolerate a bunch of dumb shit. But more importantly, it's like misinformation, which I think is what you were speaking to. Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, shut up, or either ask the question and then listen to other people. Like, have some other points of view before you, An M4, Colt M4 is a piece of shit. Like, come on, man.
I
fuck
think
are
too
you
many
talking-
people put too much weight in a one-sided story.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
forget that there's two other sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lack
Well,
of
and
maturity.
people, because social media has given everyone the ability to share their opinion, they feel as though they need to share their opinion, or that their opinion needs to be listened
Or that
to.
it matters as much as someone who has actual
Right.
experience. Like, if I take a Chris Costa class, then I know everything you guys know, so shut up.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like you shot with Travis Haley once.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you walk around with that fucking certificate? Do you hand that
Yeah,
out? Like,
yeah.
is that
Well,
your
look at
identification
this.
card?
Yes,
now?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
It's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, these guys will they'll send us these resumes. Like, I took 3 classes with so and so.
Yeah.
Okay, like what? And then they're offended when I'm like, we're not hiring instructors.
Yeah.
Like, and if I hate to say it, dude, but like if you didn't work at a tier 1 unit, like it's not even an option.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you want from me.
I mean, it makes sense because even from, combat development or whatever within those organizations, like most of the time, that's what it has to be.
Yeah, you have to be
and-
selective.
Yeah. You guys employing Gold Star kids. That's the coolest thing I've learned since I've been here, and so stoked on you guys. And I tell you, John, that little kid out there, oh my Lord, what a treasure he is.
Yeah.
That kid, he is so hyped for all of this. He's so into it, absorbing everything. Like, what a great attitude he has. Man, that's incredible. And I'm sure, his dad is, one of the guys that, Advanced Armament we were supporting for years and trying to build stuff for. So, man, that really touched me, and I love the fact that you guys are doing that. And, for me, if you guys, if you have merch, if you have swag and doing that sort of stuff, if for, people listening to this podcast, like, that's a reason to support this place. Like, if you can't come do training or the other things you guys do, if you guys have hats and shirts and all those things, I mean, the fact that there's a room full of Gold Star kids down there managing stuff for you guys, that you guys put the trust into them, you give them a place, you're helping them out. It's easy for me to show up like a rich asshole twice a year to SOC-F events or whatever and donate product and money and all that. But you guys actually engaging it every day. That's awesome. Yeah. So shout out to you guys for that. That's the greatest thing I've heard since I've been here, honestly.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. We grew up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Like I've known them all since they were like knee high to a duck
Yeah.
before everything happened. So I mean, it's weird. Like
Yeah.
all their moms are friends of my wife. Like we all kind of grew up together, and then this thing happened. You know, we had the skateboard company going with Tribe Skates, and needed some help to start this place. And it's like, hey, let's hire a bunch of people that we know that we actually trust.
Yeah.
And then they just never left. Like, hey, if you stay, like we'll pay you just to stay here. And it's like the collective, like just how out of the box they came, because they weren't. I mean, like, you know, it's bad on us, it's bad on the community, but we isolate them, and then we tell you it'll be okay, and then before you know it, like we've bubbled them
Right.
for pretty much their entire childhood, and now we release them into the wild. Like Megan just graduated in the middle of COVID. Like,
Yeah, what a weird time to
Well,
have any sort of transition in life.
so
Jesus.
fucking Talia, fucking captain of the soccer team at ODU University, missed her fucking pro card because of COVID. So he offered that up, like, I'll pay for your trainer, I'll pay for your diet, I'll give you a year paid off. Like, we'll send you over to Europe, do whatever the fuck you want to do, just don't leave officially. Like, let's keep money in your fucking pockets in the middle of COVID, dude. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like, like we try to keep them in here and nurture them, but you know,
because it is. I mean, from what I saw, the age range down there and everything, it's like really entering adulthood.
yeah, it's like
And it is a weird
23
time
to 21.
Yeah, and how enthusiastic John is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stoked.
he's 21 and like loves guns, loves what you guys have
Jared
done.
Tapper built that
Yeah.
fucking whole kill house by himself.
Yeah.
Like him and John hoisting up walls, but dude, we were busy, man. Like we were on the road, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Gave you the dimensions, we taped it out on the floor. We came back and I think it was like slapping it up, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you would believe what they were a year ago.
Oh, dude.
The confidence they have now in their capabilities.
Well, that too, you guys are mentoring them as well as giving them the job. And like and you told me before, like you had mentors growing up, whatever. And I don't think that's as common as people understand, and like how crucial that is.
So like no one knows it, but they will now just fucking say it. Tribe Skates is completely run by Gold Star.
Yeah.
I don't do anything with that. I let them take pictures of me and tank tops and we sell them. That is it. I do nothing. Like I go down there and I sand skateboards when I'm having a super bad day and then we sell them on fucking line. That entire e-commerce store, everything is ran by them.
Yeah.
All of it. And
So-
all the money, they're the only ones on payroll.
Yeah,
Like,
ha-
that's a rule.
Well, have we talked about that? So you guys have a company called Tribe Skate. So it's set up, and now you have these Gold Star kids running. So it's skateboard stuff, which obviously close to my heart because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand you guys are actually. I thought you're just printing boards that were, like decks from Mexico. No, so you guys are forming the decks. You're sanding them.
So not pressing them.
Oh,
I
you're
tried
not
that
pressing
once.
them.
We can't do them anymore. So we get the blanks for the fracture burn stuff. We sand them down. We burn them. I mean, if we went through the entire step, I mean, that's a 6-day process per board. So
Yeah.
just a man hours to go into it, but it's a labor of love. Like we're not doing that to
Yeah.
keep the lights on. We're doing that to keep them motivated. I mean, for Jared to go down there and spend 6 hours in solitude and just of his own thoughts, like it's good for him, man. It's good
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Go down there and take your 20-minute walk and go sand fucking skateboards for 8 hours. Like you will be in a zen spot. You can turn anything into therapy, the right mindset.
Well, true. I mean, that's an artistic thing, and I mean, I do it with our company with fucking box art. Like I use magic markers and draw on our boxes, and before you know it, people they'll send me DMs offering me hundreds of dollars for me to draw. I'm like, yeah, that's not why I do it, and I'm not going to be obligated to it. And you just get one if you get one. So I get that whole thing too, and like a physical activity, but also a creative one. But I mean, the mentorship, I think what you said of what you guys do, it's way more important than a job. And I think it's easy for me to be old and like ridicule younger people, but you guys have everything in the world you would ever need to know at your fingertips. Like I was talking to you about my son, and if something's fucked up in the house, like whatever it is, anything in the house, and I tell him to go fix it because he'll just go Google it and watch YouTube videos, and he can do anything in the world. But the mentorship, because learning, like how have you all learned to do things? Whether it's like you go through whatever basic, or you go through buds or any sort of training. I mean, for me, my mentorship, I was a kid, got interested in guns. I worked in a gun store, and then Max Atchison, who was a gun designer and at the time of Stoner and Jim Sullivan and Max Atchison, he did the Atchison Assault 12. So it's a thing in the 80s, the full auto shotguns, probably in Call of Duty.
AA-12, yeah.
So, he was my mentor with guns. And, like everybody needs that. Like you can read a fucking book, but it's good having the hands on and seeing someone else do something. So anyway, I applaud you guys. That's cool. And it got me like super more excited about this and what you guys are doing. And then hearing John's story. So his mother had, what's the foundation that she has?
All in all the time.
All in all the time. You said, so Sock F is a big contributor to that one. Yeah, so that's awesome.
I mean, everybody is. Like, everywhere on the 757, it's like, that's, I'd say it's a homegrown chair, but it really is. Like, it's got a really big push here. And they do just everything.
When did, John, when did he lose his dad?
That was
08.
Day before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, February 13th.
Yeah.
So, so that's a charity that his mom started and it's still going on. And so SOCEP, that's one we've always really supported. I told you guys because, Dave Kramer, who's in charge of that, he and I are from the same spot and know each other. And actually, when I moved to New Hampshire, I gave him my Land Cruiser. Like, I had an 88 Land Cruiser that was mint that I got actually from one of y'all's cousins at Bragg. And it was 88, so fuel injected, 119,000 miles when I got it. Oh, so mint. And I'd see Dave, like a couple of times a month, and he was like, man, I want one of those so bad. And he's like, he just kept on, if you ever sell that thing, this was for years. And, I drive it like 1,000 miles a year. And then when he started Sock F and was doing all that, and, I was touched by it. And it's like donating so much of his time for nothing other than the fulfillment of supporting a community that he cared about. And I was moving to New Hampshire, and I didn't want to bring it up here. And I called him over one day. And, I was leaving that day, and I just gave him the keys and the title. He starts, crying in the driveway. It was, so cool. Talked to him the other day. He's like, yeah, me and the boys use it camping all the time. It's awesome.
Good deal.
But, yeah, what a great dude and a charity that if he's donating their money because, they have 100% pass-through, nobody at SOCEP takes a penny. If he's donating it to this charity, then, I would believe in it. I mean, that's all I know about it, but that's cool. Yeah, he's big into the Gold Star kids. Like, Dave's a family dude.
I mean, unfortunately, living in this small town, man, it's the biggest small town I've ever been to. I mean, like, you go to Walmart, like, you run into 3 or 4 families you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the Gold Star community, they stay here.
Right.
So you see them on a daily basis. Like, I'm married to a Gold Star.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, most people don't know that. Yeah, I'm married to a Gold Star.
Jesus,
so,
you guys are really inbred.
Bro, like, we are inbred. Like, we are. But
Explains the
nobody takes better care
ridiculous strength.
Yeah.
You were talking about the wood burning of the boards. Have you ever gotten into your fucking riding the lightning? Or?
Yeah,
this
dude.
table.
Bro.
This give you PTSD right here.
You kind of told us about it, and I was fucking wild. So I don't know if that's something
I know.
you want to talk about.
It gave me super anxiety. I don't even know if I want to hear it again.
Dude, so I had just came back from I was starting my medical retirement board, getting ready to push. I have my retirement date. That shoulder surgery fucking did me in.
So they're like, we don't know. So he's like, let me go fuck myself up a little more.
Like, so yeah, right before I get electrocuted on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Like, reset everything. Shattered right collarbone, shattered left scapula, blew out of both my hands, blew out of my thighs, everything.
So this was doing
the fracture burning. So we're out there Father's Day morning. I've got a bunch of paddles. I'm going to burn for an EOD retirement. The guy comes over, drops them all off, and we're shooting the shit. I've been out there since 5:30 in the morning.
So for everybody listening, it's basically putting electricity through this wood. You burn it. You burn all these cool things, and you pour some sort of epoxy in it, sand it down. It looks fucking awesome like this table.
So it's a microwave transformer we've pulled out, hooked it up to jumper cables.
Oh, that sounds safe.
Yeah. So you basically hook it on there. It's all
Stick your
connected
tongue
by,
to it. It's fine.
It's connected by an octopus outlet.
Yeah.
Turn it on, bolts, unplug it, unplug everything. Now we're good.
Why didn't you just do that?
I did.
Oh.
So we're getting through. We've been burning all morning. And we're on the last paddle. My wife knocks on the bay window. The kids are in there eating breakfast. And she's like, it's fucking Father's Day, man. We got to go. Got to go right now. Last paddle. In the confusion, because I had him sanding paddles. So he's plugged into the octopus outlet. In the confusion, sander gets unplugged. Machine gets plugged in. So the 2 leads that are running 60,000 volts or whatever it is sitting on the ground. Live, and I don't know it.
So you go to pick
Like,
it up.
there's water hose going. Like, I'm standing in water. I am. Like, but it's because I control the aspect, so
Right.
I know the condition I'm standing in. I fucking didn't, man. I reached down and I grabbed those things and I went to readjustment. Wow! It fucking sent me. And I remember it crystal fucking clear. Like, I remember the metal winding up in my mouth. I remember I can taste it. I can feel my teeth getting fucking hot. I remember watching him run around left and right, screaming, fuck, 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 fuck. I took a step back and I remember it felt like my kneecap went through my asshole. And it blew me across the yard and I heard a loud snap and I hit the ground. I remember shaking and I remember him running over to the basically where the octopus outlet is and everything went white. I black out. I wake up a couple seconds and he's standing over me face to face. And he's, do you know where you're at? And all this smoke came out of my mouth. Fucking hair was smoking. My hands were all fucking.
That's so horrible.
And I looked at him and I was like, I'm on the fucking ground. He's like, are you okay? And I went, no. No, man, I'm not. Like, my collarbone's definitely fucking broken. I think my shoulder's at a socket. Like, I heard it before I stepped back.
And you said that was from the just the contraction of the muscles?
Yeah, because I had to lead my right hand and lead my left.
Yeah.
So just squeezed as tight as I could, and then boom, they both went. So that right shoulder, what I think, is I had the Mumford, bicep tendinosis, a bunch of labral pairs, like 7 screws in it. When you do the Mumford, they cut out a section of your collarbone about a fucking 1/4 of an inch where it connects to the AC joint. I think that, now that it's shorter, made it a different hinge point. And when I flexed as hard as I could, it snapped, it shattered it, threw fucking pieces into my trap. Like, it was awful, man.
Yeah.
But I remember standing up, I was telling some of the guys earlier, told my wife I'm going to drive myself to the hospital. I remember standing up, didn't have shirt on, didn't have shoes on, had a pair of board shorts that had holes burnt through them. And I stood up and I took a step. And then everything kind of tunnel visioned in, like inch by an inch. And I took another one. It's like the Kill Bill scene, the 5-finger death punch. Like, I'm on step 4 and it's right here. I take my 5th and I go totally fucking blind. Nothing. Like, freeze. I start getting a little wobbly. Nobody's there. My wife ran inside. She's trying to get on shoes. She's got to take me. We've got the kids there. She's got to call my mom to come watch him. The Navy guy that's there, he's like, hey, I'll fucking drive him. Trying to get me in the truck. Like, but I can't move. Like, I'm shattered, bro. Like, I can't do anything. Like, I don't want to move my fucking hands. Like, at any moment, I'm just going to keel over and die. And now I'm blind. I take a big breath, like, start to hyperventilate a little bit. Take one more step in it.
Yeah, it's probably a good time for a panic attack there.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm trying to flood my body with oxygen to do something, like, because it feels like I can feel my heart. Like, it's a slow pump, man. It's fucking weird. Like,
I'm
when
such
it's over,
a pussy. Benadryl does that to me.
I mean, you know what I mean? Though? Like, you think you're fucking boom,
yeah,
boom,
you're
boom,
standing
boom,
in
boom.
your front yard or wherever, or
I'm
backyard,
not.
and you think you're about to die.
I mean,
not,
me
like-
also being a father, I would just think I do not want my kids to see this.
Yeah, like, that's why I moved to the side of the house. Like, I want to die on the side of the fucking house.
yeah.
My kids are in the fucking backyard looking at me. And all this shit's going through my mind. Like, if they would have ran up and grabbed me, they both would have got hit with the voltage. The
Yeah.
old lady would have ran out. She would have fucking grabbed me. Thank God that dude was there
Yeah.
to unplug me. Thank God he had the wherewithal.
Yeah.
If he would have grabbed me, my wife would have went out and grabbed him.
Yeah.
Kids would have ran out, grabbed mom.
Yeah, it'd have been a
I
chain.
could have killed the fucking everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, now I just do it in isolation. I'm like, if you see me, just call the fucking fire department, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't even come touch me. But either way, we get loaded up in the truck and we drive there. We hit every pothole on the way.
Yeah, of course.
We did the
With a
x-rays.
collarbone, that's nice.
Yeah, so we did the x-ray. They laid me down on my back. So when you see the shattered bone, it looks normal. They should have stood me up. So I walked around for 5 days. Actually, no, a full week, almost 10. I finally get new images shot. Now I'm standing up. They were going to see if they needed to do a surgery. They're like, hey, man, we might be able to get by with this with just a sling. We don't know how bad it's actually fractured because it was so swollen, the burns and everything. It was fucking weird. Dude, they stood me up and shot that x-ray, and that thing was completely inverted. Like, I had a piece that was sitting there. I called my PA. I called John in the middle of the night, and I was like, hey, bro, I think I'm having a tension pneumothorax. Like, I think I punctured a fucking lung. And he's like, DJ, that's a serious fucking thing. Like, that's no shit. I'm talking to him on the phone. Like, I'm looking for bilateral fall of the chest. Like, I'm trying to look for the signs. Like, I'm feeling like shit. Every time I would breathe, basically my lung would inflate and there would be something that would pierce it. So I'd have to shallow breathe for fucking 10 days, man. We went in there for surgery and he looked at the x-ray and he's like, dude, tomorrow morning, 05, let's go. Got 2 plates and 27 screws and, dude, it's fucking awful. The scapula was twice as bad.
Yeah.
You can't do anything for it. just in a sling, double slings. I can't use my hands. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Have my wife bathe me was the worst thing that's ever happened. She's Spanish, and she bathes me in reverse. She takes a loofah. She washes my hair. She washes my face. She washes my whole body. And then she re-washes my ass. Then goes straight to my face and does it again. But I can't stop her. I can't do anything. I'm twisting my head to fucking touch
Is she
me.
laughing?
No.
No.
It's a
She thinks
serious.
it's totally fucking normal. It happens the next day. And then the next day, and I'm like, hey, honey, I'm very appreciative. I am.
Thank you for doing this, but
Thank you. Do you wash your ass and then your face? And she's like, no. Then why are you doing it to me? She's like, ah, fuck.
'Cause you're an
Dude,
asshole.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. You're killing me here.
So you stopped doing this electric burn stuff then?
No, man. I had to finish those paddles.
yeah, how quickly
It's like
were you
Jay
back
with
up
the
there?
drone. Here we are again.
4 days.
Dude, I'd have to look at my picture. The day after I got out of the hospital. It's like I had to stay there, I think overnight for a day or 2 days maybe.
Strapped in and went for it again.
Dude, I woke up at 5:30. I walked out there in double slings and laid that board down. I had to finish them. But like, it's the same thing as skydiving. Same thing as anything else. Like when that thing bites you on the fucking ass, and like you see it come out to grab you, and you survive it, just get back on and do it again. You have a cutaway in skydiving, get on the fucking next load and get back on there and do it, or you're gonna sit there and let it eat you for
think
the
about
rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
You'll eventually talk yourself out of doing it again.
Yeah.
No, just go do it again. Just go.
That's why I'm back on the drone.
Get it, man.
You're such a champion.
I know. Yeah,
I
thank
mean, you were such an
Yeah,
inspiration.
thank you for recognizing
Yeah, his
that.
story is stupid. Yours, though, oh,
Yeah.
so
I-
inspirational.
It's crazy because
That's insane.
when John was up off camera, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and he didn't get into any details. He was like, "Yeah, DJ got electrocuted real bad, and like it fucked him all up," and gave no context. So I think everyone assumed it was when you were on the teams or whatever, and then one of the fog dudes
No,
was
that-
like, "No, it was when he was making paddles."
Man,
Like,
that's something. I mean, you know,
Survive all that
guys
bullshit.
survive all that shit,
Yeah.
and they're in their yard
Doing
thinking
what you
they're
wanna do.
invincible, doing something dumb.
doing things that you want to do too.
Yeah, dude. It's like it's not even like that was art therapy.
Right.
And it almost
Well, is it a
fucking killed me.
thing where, like, if you guys had not had the training, had the benefit of that, like you would have all died skydiving. Like you go and grab electricity, and you think, oh, I can. Like my idiot kids, like, hey, I'll just YouTube this. I'm all good. And here you are, laying in the yard smoking.
I mean, it's all fun and games, man.
Until it's not.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, that whole story. Now I've heard it twice in a day. Causes me so much anxiety. I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad you survived it. I don't understand how. I'm disappointed you're still doing it.
It jacked up your hands for like a long time too.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you've had.
I just had surgery on my. I had surgery on my thumb this year. I mean, I had to. Like, I couldn't even.
What was
shake
that?
hands.
Because of the nerves, or
It blew out a big hole right there. So like I could only open up my hand to like there. So when guys would go to shake my hand and drive in,
Oh.
it burned a hole through my palm, connected to the tendon, connected to the nerve bundle. So anytime you would apply pressure, it felt like you were gonna fucking rip my thumb off.
Yeah.
So driving down to pull my pistol out of retention every single time, like we get done with the range, I'd be sweating. Like, dude, I'm fucking done, dude. I can't do it anymore. Like it takes a lot for me to go under the knife because I really don't like it. Because I don't like physical therapy. It was like it took a lot for me to get that hand down. I'm so glad I did it.
but it worked. You don't have that sensation when you go to do stuff.
I mean, that's why I still do the grip stuff. Like it's a daily struggle to get it back. Like if I don't, like I can't get it all the way open. It'll kind of fuse. But yeah, I mean, like they cut it from there all
Yeah.
the way through.
All I know is our homie, the Scorpion King, Chad. I'm not going to let him do a table like this for me.
No.
Because I don't want him.
You don't need
going
that
through
on your
stuff.
conscience.
No.
If you want, like me and the boys will fly out. I'll bring the kit. We'll burn it. At your
You
place.
will not. You can come. You will not do that in my yard. I don't even think council will allow it. But even other than that, like I like you enough now. I'm not.
it'll be
And your wife's Spanish. I'm not dealing with that
No,
crap
yeah,
if
dude,
I
you don't
kill you
know
at my
shot.
house.
Yeah, you don't need part of that shit.
No.
dude. Like Spanish from Spain. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
real
yeah.
Spaniard.
yeah.
Yeah, no. You know that's where I went to school. I went to
Really?
law school in Spain.
Where?
In Valladolid, so like northern Spain.
Okay. Yeah, she was in Cadiz. Down the
Yeah.
So
That was the one place in Europe at the time, and you young pups won't understand. This is still while the IRA was around, because I went to summer school one year in Paris and then 1 year in London. and in London, like a bunch of buildings were all blown up because of the IRA and shit. So it's back, and like the Spanish terrorists, like in northern Spain, they were pretty active then
Yeah,
too.
who's that? ETA? Was it ETA back then?
At least I don't know if it was back then, but
it is
recently, yeah.
Yeah,
It was near like
I
Catalan
don't know
and
that's
stuff.
who it was,
Dude,
but
like
they're
flying
all.
Madrid, it's fucking scary.
But in northern Spain, they're on the French border, like in the Basque Country. It's all like, it seems like they've been terrorists for thousands of years.
Yeah, like that whole like Catalonia area is
Dude,
strange.
Like, talking to my wife's grandmother about back in the days, like Hitler, Franco.
yeah, Franco.
Dude,
yeah.
I had no idea. I had no idea how bad that was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. If you don't have like mass media and everything, like if you get in power and you're in charge of a country, like why are you going to give it up? And you can control the narrative.
Look at
I mean, you
Vlad.
understand how like yeah. I
Putin,
mean,
when he
Vladimir
signed
Putin.
that recently, he signed the thing. He's like, "Oh, there's a new rule. I can be the president or whatever till 2035 now."
Yeah,
And everyone's like, "Oh, okay, yeah.
or China, or you think like North Korea, like that crazy son of a bitch." So the whole story for the people is, there was World War III and North Korea won it, and we defeated America, and like that's what all the people believe
Yeah.
because they control the media. I know
Oh,
it's crazy
God.
as fuck, like knowing the truth.
Yeah.
But if you're there, like, how would you know otherwise? Like they turn off Facebook, they turn off the internet, like you don't know.
And make you get vaccines and all kinds of weird shit.
Vaccine. Yeah, but I mean, you could
have
understand
too.
like becoming a tyrant. I mean, but now it's like, now it's easier to get the message to people that shit's not right. But I think in most of those countries, but Spain, oh my god. So it was the one country in Europe where they still liked Americans. I had many great times there. Yeah, it was a wonderful time. Spanish women. Yeah, I enjoy it. Okay, well, I'm glad you survived that. I'm not sure I'm excited about you continuing to do this, but hopefully you don't make the same mistake twice. Not sure you can survive it.
You had to have upgraded your system now, right? Like, there's got to be some. You're doing it a different way.
So we had one of the guys. There's a company that sponsors vets to come through. And we fracture burn with them and show them how to do it. One of the kids that went through actually built a box
Oh, okay.
with a step down. It's on like a wah-wah paddle,
Right,
like
yeah.
a tattoo machine. It's
Yeah.
fucking great. So yeah, we got some upgrades.
You're way safer now.
We still got the old machine. Still got Old Faithful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old.
Yeah, the car battery and the jumper cables. or whatever.
I think that's not the right name for that. Old Faithful. All right. Well, I don't know. Now that my anxiety's through the fucking roof. Cole, what do you got? You got anything? We got a Hallmark story now to
Yeah, and
follow
Cole
this
stories.
one. Yeah. Can we end this on a
Well, I mean,
on a
like,
like note?
You didn't introduce yourself any fucking way. You didn't even
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
right.
Yeah.
So just running our mouth.
I'm Cole Fackler. I'm the COO and CFO of GBRS Group. Born and raised in Norfolk, Virginia. Went into the teams 03. Got medically retired May of 2020. That's me.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Well, when you joined the Navy, how long before you're on team?
Went straight to boot camp, then A school, then Buds.
Oh, so just your whole career.
Yep.
But even, I mean, to
But-
be on it, like, by the time you're on a team, what was it, like 2 years? Something like that?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I joined in
Year-
November 02 and we were in Iraq in March of
05?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, we graduated Buds in February of 04
Yeah.
and we were in Iraq of
Right.
Yeah, we
April
graduated
04.
Buds in 04 on my birthday,
Yep.
20.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's kind of a weird transition time. It's kind of like straight over.
Yeah.
Now it's just a lot longer. The pipeline's just fucking longer.
Yeah.
Like going from boot camp to Buds is so much longer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's thousands of kids want to be Navy SEAls now.
Right.
Back in the day, it's like you
Well, I
went
mean,
went to
that's-
boot camp with 500 people and
that's
3
thanks
of
to
you
you
went to
guys.
Buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's weird too how each branch is different in the sense that, so like EOD, like the Air Force for EOD, you have a 12 months. Once you're done with your tech school, you have a 12-month at least like on-job training period before you're deployable. And then like you look at the Army and they're straight out of tech school, they can or they're whatever AIT or EOD school, whatever. They're out there deploying, and like there's a pretty high mortality rate with those dudes. And I think a lot of that is because of that. They have no on-the-job training, and they just are deployed. So it's weird that I assume it's like you're saying it's different now where dudes are getting onto teams and they're not immediately going on a pump. Unless it is.
I mean, like most of those guys, they try to time it and give them a full workup. So a lot of the rotations were on a 2-year rotation.
Right, yeah.
So like our deployment cycle, just the way it was back then, was like 05, 07. It was like you had a full 18 months of a workup and then you rolled.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get caught weird, but it's usually not on your first one because that's kind of hard. Like you show up 2 weeks later, you're in Iraq. Like, dude, I was doing log PT on Thursday. Like that was the joke. Like you're still shitting Bud's job. I was like, you don't know anything. Like, on my
Shitting Bud's job.
Dude, until my second deployment, I didn't know where my ass was. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know anything.
I mean, I think one topic kind of worth noting or talking about is a transition.
Oh, God, it's a fucking
Transition out, you mean?
Yeah. Basically reinventing yourself. I mean, most people get out.
That's the
stuff
killer, right?
kids.
Yeah, it's got to be like weird because like you're at kind of a weird age then too. Because I assume for most people it's
Late
late
30s.
30s, early 40s. It's a weird time in life in general.
I mean, even retiring. Like he would have retired at 38. I would have retired at 37. You retired 2 years early. Like,
But I mean,
So
neither of us have high school education, or sorry, neither of us have college education.
barely high
I
school.
was going to say, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, done some, executive college, different MBA courses, but no, I mean, we've been used to learning by a fire hose and on the job training.
Well, okay. Well, with that, so you guys doing this, so you seem to have found a niche within our industry. So where is this place in 5 years? What are you guys wanting to do?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that steers this company is our brand truths. And what we stick to is not prostituting ourselves out in the sense of working with companies that it's a one-night stand. It's a long-term thing. And if we look at, strategic partnerships and long-term partnerships, we believe in your products and we would absolutely take them to war right now, or we think we can help you get them to where we take them to war and believe in them and have, no questions about that. We take cool pictures and don't really give a shit, but we fucking care.